Hi friends! I am at my friend's house and I'm about to water her garden. So she's doing her clinicals for physical therapy, and her husband's been back and forth to visit her. I wanted to see if I could live stream with my data plan. So we'll see how this goes. There's a mosquito trying to get me. I probably sprayed myself, sprayed the mosquito at the same time. Hello. I see there's one person there. Sorry it's dark. Sorry I don't have a thing to hold this better. But my friend messaged this morning and said, hey, I forgot to ask you if you'd water my garden. And it's been a dang hot weekend, so I hope nothing's dead. Let me see if I can pull up the messages. Okay, I have it set. Dumb mosquitoes. I can't see messages so far. Never done this on my... No. Sorry, I'm just testing this out. Anyway, if you're leaving comments, I can't see them, and I haven't done this with my iPhone before. I just thought I would multitask. I would test this out. Oh, hi, Barbie. Well, there's a mosquito with a vendetta. I'm gonna water her garden and myself as I spray mosquitoes. Hi, Jody. It's harder to see on this small screen, but so my friend has been working hard on becoming a physical therapist, or actually I think an assistant. I don't remember what you call it. But my friend has a nice garden going on here. I don't want her plants to die. How are you guys doing? I should have come here in the morning as soon as she asked, but oh well. Haven't been sleeping really well. Okay, hi John. Trying to see all the comments. Dang it. Comments are disappearing. Oh, thanks, Jody. All right, how do you see your name? Syours? Soars? Sorry, I'm not good with foreign names unless they're like German or something. So, yeah, my friend needs her garden watered for 2 weeks. I get really bored when I'm doing this and usually drag a kid with me. And one time I took a friend for a walk and said, hey, come with me to water the garden. So my friend's doing her clinicals for 8 weeks. Sorry for my thumb blocking. The best time to water is when the sun is down, so it doesn't just like fry the water on the plants. I think I got bitten by something. Darn it. In a moment here, I'll put down the sprayer and I will give you my undivided attention. So, right in my, get off. Uh-oh, I have a kink in the house. This is not good. Oh, do you see the mosquito on me? Let me fix the kink. So our son Eric left for Georgia yesterday for basic training. Definitely a kink. And it was delayed by a day. They just weren't able to get plane tickets. So we had dropped him off at the hotel. It's so annoying. This hose kinks too easy. Dropped him off at the hotel, and then the next day he said, not leaving today after all. So he said we could come visit him at the hotel in the giant lobby that they have. So that meant saying goodbye for the second time. I had to fix the kink again. They need a new hose. Actually, there's like 2 kinks. So my husband said he didn't want to go say goodbye a second time because it would be too hard, but I thought, he was going to see other families visiting their kids. He would see that they get to see their families one more time, and I was like, we should just suck it up and go see them. And that wasn't as hard as I expected. There's something different about saying goodbye at home. Like, seeing him on more neutral territory and say goodbye there wasn't as bad. And not nearly as bad as an airport goodbye. I mean, when I took my husband to the airport, when he went to basic training, I sat in the parking lot and just bawled my head off. I couldn't drive for a long time. So Eric had to get up at 3 a.m. for a 9:30 a.m. flight. That's how the military works. You have to hurry up and wait. And so I set my alarm for 3 a.m. so I could text him again and wish him a good flight. And then we texted back and forth as he told me he was on the shuttle and then at the airport and then on this train thing in the airport. And then he told me when he was boarding, and he was able to message on the plane a bit, which was, some of the messages weren't coming through right away. Oh, thank you, Jody. So, of course, it's been a very emotional time. You can see the mosquito on my face? No. Yeah, lots of mosquitoes here. There's some grass poking me. If Eric were here, I'd make him come over and mow this lawn. And then he texted me when he got off the plane, and he had to set up things so that I could see his location, so I could actually see that he was on the bus and stuff. So that was kind of cool. But, when he first got off the plane, his phone wasn't working right, and then it worked after it was restarted. And I was a little nervous that our plan wouldn't work in Georgia, and we had been pretty careful about finding a plan that looked like it would work everywhere. So thank goodness once he restarted it, it worked again. I'm relieved. But then he had to shut off the phone when he got there, and this is where it gets really tricky. So he was told that they're going to quarantine for 2 weeks when they get there, and his recruiters didn't even know if they were going to get their uniforms right away. So they said maybe bring X amount of clothes to change into, which meant a bigger bag. And so he brought a carry-on suitcase. But then it turns out whatever you bring, you have to hold it with your left hand and run. And he wasn't allowed to use the wheels. So he told me, I regret bringing this suitcase. And they did get some like PT clothes right away. They're not making them exercise in their camouflage. Like, it's so hot there. He just, it's one of the first things he said to me was, he's like, holy crap, it's hot here. Very humid in Georgia. So then he had to turn his phone off, and then later that night, so what they do is they give them a script to read. This thing is leaking. I swear, every time I house sit or dog sit or garden sit for people, something goes wrong. Anyway, they give them a little script. And I'm going to sit down for a second. And they can't say anything more than the script. It's just a short thing. They can't say they love you or anything. He just said, you know, this is Private Eric. Of course, he said his last name. And he told me he can send mail, but he can't receive mail, which I'm sure is not permanent. But I was surprised at that because I don't remember that being the case with my husband. I'm not seeing the messages again. Oh, there they are. So tomorrow's his birthday, and so I wasn't able to rush him a birthday card or anything. Hi, Heather. Okay, now I can say hi to people. All right, just catching up on the comments. So, of course, hey, Music Logic / baby. Of course, he couldn't answer when he will be able to call again or when we can send him mail. They do have a Facebook page where we can look at videos and photos of what they're doing. And so we're watching these videos and pausing and going, is that him? Is that him? But they're all wearing the same thing, and they're wearing masks to make things even more difficult. So, well, it's good to know that I can live stream from my iPhone if needed. I will still probably do it from my tablet because in the near future, I plan on doing some live scam calls. And so I'll be using my iPhone for the calls, and I'm going to use Text Now. It's funny because I actually picked a Georgia phone number, not knowing it was Georgia. So my son's in Georgia, and I have a Georgia number. We'll see how that works out. Stop eating me. No. What is the science? Like, why do mosquitoes like some people so much? Like, I can be at the same event with someone and they don't get a single mosquito bite. They find me delicious. And supposedly they're repelled by garlic, but that is a lie because I love garlic. So, anyway, I'm relieved you got there safely. Oh, this was funny. So I was doing the flight tracker thing. I was watching his plane. And there was some sort of glitch because it showed the plane turning around and going back to Seattle. And my friend called, so I was on the phone with her at the time, and I yelled, "Why is the plane turning around?" And we're speculating like mechanical problems or someone won't wear a mask. So I was able to text him at that point and said, "Is your plane seriously turning around?" And he said, "No, we're over Wyoming right now." And yeah, thank goodness it wasn't turning around. I was afraid that he'd get stuck somewhere else, and that would be ridiculous. So, hi, Len. Thank you so much. Sorry, this is in the dark. I just wanted to test this out while I was bored and watering my friend's plants. But I'm being eaten by mosquitoes. Do they like type O blood by chance? Is that a thing? I'm O positive. It's an iPhone SE. I'm not really that knowledgeable when it comes to technology. They just said, "Hey, do you want this phone that's on sale?" And I was like, okay. Kind of had to make decisions in a hurry, which was annoying. I don't like making important decisions in a hurry. There was a time my husband met this guy who sold down comforters. It was like a king size one for $75. He said, "Should we get it?" And I'm like, "Oh, okay." And so we got it, and I like laid awake most of the night going, "Should we have spent $75 on this?" And then later on, it turned out I was allergic to dust mites and was not able to use it anymore. So, but we keep it for emergencies in case the power goes out in the winter again. Oh, Barbie, that's cool. So his phone's turned off right now, so I can't get his location. But I was able to see earlier when he called last night where he was. Okay, now let's see if I can get out of my friend's yard. The gate is a little tricky. Oh, I did it. Hi, Cricket. Oh, it even closed. It's my lucky day. Do you guys want to walk home with me? This is probably going to be the weirdest live stream I've ever done. And at a bad angle. Heather, I'm not in a jog. No. I'm wearing flip-flops. And I don't want to. So this is kind of cool that if I ever want to live stream and it's really loud in my house, like it usually is, I could maybe drive somewhere and live stream. Barbie, it's not the weirdest live stream I've ever done. Hi, Javon. Len says, "What's your opinions on Carol Baskin and COVID-19? Asking me two giant questions at once. I caught part of the Tiger King. I kept getting sidetracked. It did appear that Carol Baskin, I don't know, maybe I shouldn't say. COVID-19, my opinion on COVID-19 is that it is very lame and annoying. And I would like for it to not exist anymore. And I'm tired of everyone fighting about masks and everything associated with it, and makes me contemplate a social media break. I would still be on YouTube, I'd make videos, but yeah, the subject has gotten way old and people's minds aren't really going to change, and everything is politicized. Hi, Harry. So, yeah, I feel really frustrated because I did a strict lockdown in my family, and lots of people decided not to do that. So it's frustrating when you do your part and other people don't, and then it makes you feel like this is going on for way longer. I was really hoping that Eric would get to hug my parents before he left. He hasn't hugged my parents in months. And so that was something I was taking pretty hard. It's a little bit hard to see the comments here. I have lots of thoughts and opinions. I just, we're in a place where we can't really express our thoughts and opinions without offending people. So this has kind of gotten to the point where I keep my opinions to myself, except for Carol Baskin. Hi, Anne Marie. You're O negative and the bugs like you. I just feel like everybody is in like a very black and white position right now. I don't mean regarding racism, like polarized. It's, if you believe this, then you are fill in the blank. And if you don't believe this, then you are fill in the blank. It's nasty. I would have thought that a pandemic would pull the country together, but it did the opposite. It's like every single thing that happens in our society, it turns into, how can I use this against my political opponents? And yeah, I hate it. I'm gonna sit in my car for a moment, so I will not be eaten by mosquitoes. But I can still talk to you guys and not go into my loud house. Whew, it's really warm in my car though. And if I open the doors, the mosquitoes. Hi, Dale. Yeah, I'm in a sauna. Harry, I'm okay. I just feel like I need a break from social media. Like, the thing I like about social media is I can see if my friends need something. I have a light. I don't know if it'll drain my battery soon or not. But yeah, social media, I like to see if my friends need anything, if they're struggling in any way, and then I can respond to that. But thanks, Harry. Yeah, I've been doing that. I've been going out in the garden and meditating, but things are extra hard just because my son left yesterday, and I don't know when we'll get to talk to him again. So, it's an emotional time. Javon, favorite composer? Mozart's one of my favorites. Hi, Luke. Well, I don't know exactly whose plan it was, but some people, they see the opportunity to divide the country and they do it. Thanks, Heather. Heather says, I go with, we all have our own opinion and I don't have to like yours and you ain't gonna like mine. But that's the joy of being civilized. We get to have those differences. Yeah. So I'm seeing a lot of people saying, if you believe this, then unfriend me. So, people who have been friends for many years. All right. Thank you, Luke. Harry, yeah, I was on a walk and it's hot out here. Harry, you're in lockdown? Like, how strict is it? So Music Logic, I'm not sure why you didn't get a notification till later. I've had lots of problems. Um, like people will pop in and go, "Hey, I missed you," and I didn't stop making videos, and so they get unsubscribed or the bell gets untapped. And of course, if that happens, I don't have a way to communicate that they were unsubscribed. So I just have to hope that someday they'll find me again. And that does happen sometimes. Like someone will show up and go, "Oh my gosh, it's you! I got unsubscribed and I couldn't remember what your name was, and there you are." And kind of funny. Oh, Harry, you get fines if you don't have a mask? I'm not sure if they fine here for that. Supposedly, maybe they do. Um, we were being told to wear masks everywhere except if you're outside and can distance 6 feet. But now they're trying to say that if you step outside your house to put a mask on. Um, which is hard for me because I can't find a mask that doesn't go in my eyes and like rub my eyeballs. It is so annoying. I can't find one that works well for me. The homemade cotton ones, they're too thick, and after a while it'll start to like suction to my nostrils. So maybe I need tape or something for the medical ones, and maybe if I tape it to my face, I can stop it from going into my eyes. But that's driving me crazy. And I also feel like um, when I breathe, then like the air travels up to my eyes too. So my eyes have been really dry lately. And I think, oh, maybe I'll work on this video longer, do a bunch of editing, but I can hardly keep my eyes open because it's painful. So I just go to bed. Luke says, I'm from Miami Beach, Florida, but staying home with fam for the AST, 5 months due to everything. I know I should know what AST stands for, but I'm feeling a little brain dead right now. Oh, yeah, Harry, he says the virus is causing loads of issues in aged care. That's really scary. And I have a friend who is concerned. Like she's living with friends right now, and I mean, thank goodness she's living much longer than anyone expected her to. She was actually expecting to pass away quite soon, but once she moved into the home with them and she had much less stress and didn't have to worry about surviving, her doctor said, "Wow, this is the healthiest I've seen you." Uh, but now she's like concerned about being a burden and said that she upped her Medicare coverage in case she needs to go into a home. I said, "Well, not now, please, because then we wouldn't be able to visit you at all. Like, I can go to their house and we can visit from like way across the yard." Um, yeah, if she ended up in a home, then we'd have to like visit her from outside the window or something. That would be very sad. And yeah, she's she's doing well enough that she's not a burden, but she has started using a cane because she has terrible pain from her cancer. Yeah, Harry, you're trying really hard not to touch my face, and so when I'm shopping and my mask goes up into my eyes, I have to either have the mask rubbing my eyes the entire rest of the shopping trip, or try to find a way to get it back down without touching my face. So it makes me nervous. Harry, I've been looking for a better mask, so I've tried a variety of them. They just they don't fit me right. I might need like kid size, but I haven't seen a place where I mean, I can probably find something online. I'm just not having any luck finding anything in a store. I wish we could try them on. And Sabrina has one. It has like some satin ribbons, and it it's hard to keep the loops at the right size. It like starts to, oh god, Harry, I do not sew at all. I don't. I am terrible. That is the one thing for sure that I am really bad at. It is. It's comical how bad I am at sewing. Ask any of my friends. Oh no, Harry. It's so bad. I can never, like, I've had friends try to teach me and I can never retain how the sewing machine works. I think I'm not very mechanical. Like I look at it and I'm like, I don't understand how this thing works. I don't the the bobbin and the whatever the other thing is. And I have friends who sew masks and my sister who sews masks. You just don't really know how they're gonna fit until they actually sew them. My sister has made a lot and she's actually sold some, but she's like burnt out on, no, I'm terrible at hand sewing. I'm really bad at sewing, you guys. I could make a video about it and it might be like the funniest thing you've ever seen. It's bad. So yeah, Sabrina's like, I'll get her little ear loops in the right place, and then Eventually it's falling down because these satin ties, they slip or something. So it's pretty. Oh, you can see my logo? Okay, Walmart has the kid ones. Okay, that's good to know. I feel like since we're going to be wearing them for a good while here, um, I need to get like a stockpile of them. But I also need to have a place to hang the masks because the kids get home, they toss them somewhere. Where's your mask? I don't know. And we need to be washing them, every time we go out. And well, I don't take the kids out very often. It's mostly just hanging outside. Hi, Helena. Barbie says I can sew, but I can't sing. She says I should see you sew and you should hear me sing. Hi, Luke. No, I don't have a P.O. box. I'm sorry. That would be fun, though. I kind of felt like if I had a P.O. box that I advertised, a scammer might send me something special. Like anthrax or so yeah, I think we should have some hooks for hanging our masks after they're washed, so that we're walking out the door. I mean, this is like as difficult as gloves in the winter. Like my kids lose gloves all the time. Hi, Tim. Hi, Len. Yeah, I'm not going to open any Chinese seeds. This year keeps getting weirder. Hi, Verna. Oops. Accidentally bumped something. So my car is quite warm. So when I live stream on my tablet, I get these blips all the time, like it's buffering or something. Hi, Drop Bear. But I haven't seen it do it this time. Hi, Crystal. Hi, Shan. How's it going in Salt Lake City? Cody, I love having the phone. It's been really handy. Uh, I can shop for my mom, and if she says, hey, can you get me this type of pork? I can take a photo of all the pork at Costco and go, do you mean this one? Because there are times where she sends me with a list, and then I get there, and most likely they're out of it, but I look at what they do have and go, that might be what she was asking for. And so then I get it, and she's like, no, that's not the one. So my parents have been doing a click list for Fred Meyer, and so they order that online and they go and pick it up. So that works. But they don't have delivery for Costco in our area, and so there's some things I still need from Costco that I go and pick up for them. Whoa, Music Logic, you're doing you're at a 3-day fast? Wow. Len says social media was good in early 2000s. Now it's just everyone arguing. Nobody asks the important questions such, did Carol Baskin do it? Is Steve Harvey's mustache real? Can I poke holes through my mask? Oh, did you see There was this thing going around where people put a sign, oh, two signs by their front door. So when the Amazon delivery comes, they tell them to put their package. It says, did Carol Baskin kill her husband? Put the package under the yes sign or the no sign. And I thought that was hilarious. There still are some really funny things on social media. So sometimes I just have to unfollow people who all they do is talk about what they're outraged about. Oh, thank you, Luke. Well, everyone's sad sometimes. Wouldn't be normal. Well, not that I'm normal, but I wouldn't be normalish at all if I weren't sad sometimes. And I think if I weren't sad about my son leaving home, that would make me probably a pretty lame mom. Yeah, Barbie, have you seen that? This is the funniest thing. Oh my gosh. I love it. Harry says, the things I hate is everything. It's either rude or judgmental. I like your site as you make people's lives better. A laugh is always good. Thank you. I try to make the laughs, keep the laughs coming. Drop Bear, agreed. This is our first kid to leave home. And I never thought that one of my kids would leave home during a pandemic. That just adds a whole other layer of frustration because there were all these things that I wanted to do before he left. Like, we want to do fun things as a family, but we can't go to the movies. We can't go bowling. We can't even all sit together in a restaurant at a table. So I did go, I got carry out, and I did a paid study and got a $75 gift card. So I splurged on a nice meal that we ate on the back deck. And we had some friends suddenly move to Idaho. And the mom messaged me and said, hey, do you want this patio set? And she said, if you want it, you got to take it like by tomorrow. So we did have a patio set shortly after we moved into this house. But it was crushed by a tree limb. Like, we had this freak wind, and my husband had just fixed up the table. Like, he got it. It had been rusty. He sanded it and he painted it. And then this, we call them widow makers. I don't know if people use that same term in other states, but yeah, it just landed on the table and it like bent the legs. Thank you, Tim. And yeah, so we said, okay, guess we don't have a patio table anymore. So this set our friend gave us, it does have glass in it. The glass actually didn't shatter on the old one, which was amazing. It just gave out. The chairs with it are really nice. There's some frayed areas, but they're really comfortable. And we want to knock down the wood deck in back. Uh-oh. Light turned off. Let me make sure I didn't kill my battery. I could turn on the air conditioner too. Oh, it's cranked up a little high. So yes, we want to remove the wood deck and back because it doesn't really have any steps going up to it. It's just kind of one large step, and the only reason why it exists is because the previous owners at some point had a hot tub. So it has had to be lifted up so it had room for the electrical wires underneath. So we're never going to have a hot tub. We can't deal with the expense, and we had a bad experience with a hot tub last summer, which I'm not going to talk about. Um, they carry diseases sometimes. So we just want to knock that down and hopefully put up some concrete. Eventually, we'd like to have one large, nice looking concrete area. Uh, oh, thanks, Crystal. Good night. I hope you sleep well. Hi, Calamom. I don't know. Election scam phone calls. Oh, thank you, Luke. Um, I keep getting calls that are supposed to be like polls about how I'm voting, but I never answer those. I just say, you're just gonna have to be surprised. I don't like long surveys about do you plan on voting for this person? And then they read you some sort of information about what the person stands for and how do you feel about it now? And I just, no, I don't want to answer those things. Harry, we actually have kind of a little pond in the back. It's like a three-tier thing that my husband made into like a fountain sort of thing in it. And it has like lily pads in it, and that's where I go to like meditate. Harry says lots of surveys are scams. You're probably right. Barbie, people stew. Okay, I feel like I missed a comment. Oh, Len, I do have a Patreon. I also have the channel member thing on YouTube, which I'm newer at, and I'm so glad you're enjoying my channel. So you can click join to be a channel member, or you can do Patreon, whichever you prefer. Harry, we did have some frogs. My husband found some frogs and he put them in there, and they were making noise every single night. And then they left behind some babies. It was kind of funny. Oh, thank you, Tim. Yeah, I don't want to be president, so don't vote for me. Being president sounds like a nightmare, even though you have all those perks. But oh, thank you, Luke. Oh, frogs indicate a good environment. Okay, so my son and I think I posted this. We did this huge virtual choir by Eric Whitaker. It was over 17,000 singers. And when my son was working on his recording, he was listening to it and realized it picked up the noise from the frogs outside. And if you walk towards the frogs, they will stop making noise. And so it was like 1 or 2 in the morning, and I'm out back and I'm talking to the frogs going, hey, hi, can you be quiet? Because my son is recording a song right now. So it's really important that you not make any noise. Like a crazy person talking to the frogs. And then the battery died. So we ended up submitting a recording where it had some faint frog noises, but it all worked out. And actually, um, Eric Whitaker liked one of my tweets where so the song is called Sing Gently, and I tweeted something about ribbit gently. So it was a really good experience, and we recorded this just as things were getting heated with the protests and riots, and we just couldn't wait for it to come out because like we needed to hear this song. Like it's such a wonderful, unifying, peaceful thing, and that's what I love about music is it just makes everyone one with each other, and no one cares about each other's beliefs. Like you're working towards one purpose. I love it. Harry, the frogs didn't talk back. Like every time we go near little pond, they don't make any noise at all. Like I've never been into any type of team sports. Um, I don't know. There are lots of things that um, don't appeal to me. Like people just decide this is my team. I love this team no matter what, and they will literally hate someone on another team just because it's a team they don't like just like politics, right? Like I don't understand how people can just like hate a football player or whoever just because they're not in their preferred team. And yeah, sometimes it just brings out the worst in people. Um, just never been into it. Um, I'm all about music. Now, music can be competitive when it comes to auditioning for solos and that sort of thing, and sopranos especially can get kind of catty. And in our choir, I'm actually the soprano section leader. And the beginning of every season, like I will go to the director and say, I want a soprano sectional as soon as possible because sopranos don't sing well together until they become friends. And some of my best friends in the world, like from high school, like we're still friends. And sopranos tend to show up to a choir and they usually have the most solo experience, and they want to be noticed, they want to be validated and recognized for having an amazing voice. But when you're in a choir, your voice isn't supposed to stick out. It's not your shining moment. We're all supposed to try to sound like one person together. So, yeah, I actually love being soprano section leader, and some of the sopranos, they say, I wouldn't want your job because sometimes there is some drama, and I do everything I can to snuff that out as soon as humanly possible. Hi, Jane. Thanks, Luke. So, in our Sopranos section, when we have a concert coming up, we have dress rehearsal and stuff, I started doing a thing where, okay, what is our theme going to be? What are we going to wear for dress rehearsal? Like, if it's close to Halloween, some of us will dress up in Halloween costumes, which I'm sure the symphony, well, actually, I think some symphony people did start to dress up. So I feel like it kind of became contagious. Like, just because you're doing like serious music, classical music, does not mean that you have to be all stuffy and, you know, what's the word? You can be a really great musician, but you can also have fun. My friend showed up as Where's Waldo. It was so funny. And it was like not an expensive costume either. Like she put some like red duct tape around her shirt for the stripes. It was so much fun. Sometimes we'll do something like, we've done ugly Christmas sweaters. We've done everyone wear pink and just all sorts of things. So that has really bonded the Sopranos. Like we're great friends, and we've had sopranos go through some tragedies. Like one, we were at rehearsal when we got a message that her son most likely wasn't going to make it through his heart surgery, and so one of the sopranos showed me the message and said, "Should we interrupt rehearsal right now and have a prayer?" And I was like, "Yeah, we should." So her son was born with a heart defect, and it was planned that he would have to have multiple surgeries throughout his life, and something just went wrong. So I miss my choir so much. Like that is one of the hardest things for sure during this, is that like that's my outlet. And yeah, I can make videos of myself singing, but it's not the same as singing with my choir. It's just it's hard to explain. Like if you're not a choir person, it's hard to explain how amazing it is to sing with other people. And our concert was, Luke, you're on the floor laughing. Our concert was canceled the morning of our first dress rehearsal. And thank goodness, because we found out shortly after that about this choir up in Mount Vernon where no one had any symptoms, and they took all of these precautions. And hi, Charles. And most of the choir got coronavirus. And, they swear up and down there was not a single person there who had any symptoms. They spaced themselves out a bit. They said, we're not going to shake hands. We're not going to hug. They had hand sanitizer and the whole thing. So if we had had our rehearsal as planned, it's not just our choir, but our symphony too. And we practice in a gym for our dress rehearsals. So it was like really chilling to think of what would have happened. But I was so looking forward to this concert. It was going to be so much fun. Jared had a couple solos. Jared's my oldest son. We were doing One Day More from Les Miserables. And Jared was going to be Marius for that song. And we were also doing a really beautiful version of Pure Imagination from Willy Wonka. And like the week before, it was just coming together so beautiful. Like I actually started to cry. Like there's this line that says, "Want to change the world? There's nothing to it." And this is before things started to get extra toxic. And I just keep thinking about that, about these moments in rehearsal and how much I wanted to sing that for people. And if we do it virtual choir, it's not going to sound the same because we're not together. Like when we do virtual choirs, you're recording by yourself, and it really just kind of drives it, like it just really like rubs it in that you're not singing with your friends. And it's great to hear how it turns out, but it's a ton of work for people who do the audio editing and the video and stuff. And it definitely doesn't sound the same as if you were together. But yeah, I just loved the message in that. And our conductor actually, he composed a version of "Oh, What a Beautiful Morning" and from Oklahoma, and that was wonderful to sing. So here we worked on this for a couple months, and then we didn't get to perform it. And I know that's been the case for so many people. Like I think everyone has had something really disappointing happen throughout this ordeal, whether it's a wedding not coming together the way they wanted, or some people love sports. Like I do totally feel for people who love sports and they want to have those experiences and traditions. So even though I don't like sports, I can totally appreciate that other people like sports and that's their passion. And I do feel sad for people that they can't go to ball games and stuff. And in fact, we were supposed to go sing the national anthem again at the Mariners, which we've done a couple times now. Charles says, have you ever sung Queen of the Night by Mozart? I've done that one for fun. I've never done it for a performance, but I've had my friend play the piano for me, and I've sung along with that. Your voice has to be in really good shape to do that one. Hi, Calamon. Yeah, she's talking about the on the first day of Christmas a scammer gave to me. Yes, I did do a parody of that. Let me catch up on the comments again. Luke says, I just bought my niece a karaoke machine. Oh, that's awesome. You're a good uncle. That's a good one for her half birthday. Oh, and he's a tenor. Cool. But she won't even let me grab a mic because she got her confidence. Hi, Star Wonder. Star Wonder says, I wish I could afford singing lessons. Singing feels so good and powerful. Also, thank you for all you share. Yeah, singing does, I don't know, singing kind of feels like your soul is coming out of your body and like traveling around the room. That's kind of how I explain it. Especially if there's good acoustics, like when you can like hear your voice go out and like come back to you. It's so cool. Although some places are too echoey. Like when I sang at my friend's wedding many years ago, my friend who was playing the piano for me, my voice was coming back to her very delayed. And so I just had to tell her, don't follow me, I will follow you. So just trust that I'm singing the correct rhythm and tempo and everything. Jane says, ideas for IRS scammers threatening federal prison. Spill vitamins or something on your dust so you can hear them and pretend that you're actually overdosing and on your way out. Oh, God. I'd have to think about that. Luke says, imagine you do a scam call and have the Sopranos in the back with you singing, sorry, the music is so loud, it keeps turning itself on, and then the Sopranos singing again? I think that's what you meant to say. Edie says, why don't you all make a video all singing at home, then edit it to make it seem as if you're singing together. We have done that. We haven't done costumes, but it just doesn't come out the same. And with the virtual choirs, it's very frustrating because here we are doing the virtual choirs because we're quarantined, but it's also very hard to get quiet when everybody is at home quarantining with you. And so every time I go to record for a virtual choir, someone comes knocking at the door, or then it'll be like the trains going by and I can't have the train noise in the background. And I also discovered on one of my takes that Sabrina was singing in the background. And I couldn't hear her because I had my headphones on and I was listening to the rehearsal track. So, yeah, the virtual choirs are, it's great. Hi, Charlatan. It's great because that's what we have for now. It's better than nothing, but it also, makes me feel upset at the same time when I'm just singing by myself. So our conductor Steve, he actually made a video where he's singing at least 8 different parts with himself. It's pretty amazing. So he actually just got his master's in what do you call it? Actually got his doctorate. Sorry, he got his doctorate in music. I'm blanking on what you actually call it, but it's to be a conductor, and he started looking for work, being a conductor at a college, and now everything's shut down, and he has 7 kids to support. So then when he wasn't able to find a job, and that was like before the pandemic hit, he took a job as a substitute teacher, just in a school district, and at the same time he started tuning pianos. And then when the lockdown happened, he couldn't substitute teach or tune pianos. It's just made it very hard for people to support themselves, and that I decided I couldn't handle it trying to teach lessons through Zoom and stuff. My students are like in 1st grade, the ones that I have had. It's much harder to steer them in the direction you need when you're not there physically with them. So, Edie, I'm glad that you weren't affected work-wise. Charles says, have you ever heard Diana, is it Damrau, sing? It sounds familiar. I'll have to look her up later. Have you guys ever heard the song? It's Andrea Bocelli and his son. I know his son has a name. I should stop calling him his son and actually learn his name. Is it Matteo? I want to say that might be right. But anyway, the song's called Fall on Me, and it's so sweet, and I love it. That's one of the songs I listen to when I need like a peaceful moment. I love it. Father and son bonding. Edie says, I was broke before COVID-19 and still am today. I know the feeling. Oh, so I wanted to tell you too, when my son flew out yesterday, that was his first plane ride ever. And so that was another thing that got me all emotional, was like, I wanted to be the one to take him on a plane ride, and I wanted to see his reaction when we took off and all that stuff. So that bummed me out. Luke, you're waiting for Sabrina's moment. Oh, another thing I've been working on with Sabrina is my sister-in-law has been working on this little educational game, and you flip through these different cards, and it has different nursery rhymes. And so she initially asked me if I would sing the songs, and she said I could do it, but it would be better if you did it. And then she goes, oh, it'd be even better if Sabrina did it. And I said, oh yeah, that would be way cute. So she's been singing these songs for her, and it's so cute. And I sent her some bloopers because oh, Charlahan, I was right, his name's Mateo. So anyway, Sabrina was working on Itsy Bitsy Spider, and then she got the hiccups, and then we both kept laughing really hard. So we would try to get rid of the hiccups and start again, and then she'd hiccup again, so that Kind of made my sister-in-law's day hearing her her bloopers. Oh, Music Logic has only been in a 4-seat Cessna. I don't know what kind of plane I went up in with my dad, but my dad used to be a pilot, and he actually wanted to be an airline pilot, but they said it was something about his blood pressure being high, and so he was rejected for that reason, and that was a big bummer. But there was a time he like renewed his license, and we took turns going up in a 2-seater plane with him. And the funny thing was, I didn't know that you like shut off the engine to land. And so when it shut off, I didn't realize that was supposed to happen. And then when I realized he wasn't panicking, I'm like, okay, so we're not going to die. I think he would have said something. And then at the time, I had my dad didn't tell anyone in the family for 41 years, didn't tell any friends. Like a couple times he told like acquaintances, or not acquaintances, he told strangers like on a plane about this experience. But he was training for Vietnam, and he was going to be a medevac, what do you call it? So he would be flying helicopters and picking up people who were injured, which was a very dangerous thing in Vietnam. So he was going up with his trainer, and his trainer said, hey, let's sneak up on those 2 guys right there. And my dad said, no, don't do that. And then the guy's last words were, don't be such a P word. And then because they were in an area where they couldn't see them, those guys veered to the right, and their propeller went through my dad's cockpit, and of course did horrific things to his trainer. And the other 2 guys dropped like a rock, and my dad was able to shut off the electrical and take it down. So 41 years later, we were at a combined birthday party with the family for me, my nephew, and my son. And my mom suddenly says, hey, your dad wants everyone to come into the room. He needs to tell you something. And it just took on kind of a somber tone. And I was thinking, oh my gosh, what is he going to tell us? It's a birthday party. What is he going to tell us he has cancer or something? And he does have cancer now, but that wasn't what he was going to tell us. And he decided he wanted the entire family together when he told this. And he got engaged to my mom very shortly after this accident. And when I met my husband, and we started dating, and I talked about how my dad got a medical discharge and had benefits for life. So my husband grew up in the military. He said, that doesn't make any sense unless it was duty related. And I said, I don't know. All I know is he had a kidney disease, and they gave him a medical discharge, and we've shopped at the commissary my whole life, and he has medical benefits and everything. And I don't think that was something my mom knew or questioned. And so what happened was, when the chopper went down, it tipped over and fuel ran all over him, and that was toxic to his kidneys. So all of a sudden, oh, now it makes sense. This was like quite a soap opera year for my family, because we also found out that my mom's mom had a child that she gave up for adoption before she had 5 kids with my grandpa. It was such a bizarre year, and it's just, I don't know, it sounds so weird to me. It like sounds like I just like make up stuff. So Yeah, we have old photos of when my dad was on prednisone because of what the fuel did to him. Um, and at first, they weren't sure if they were still going to send him to Vietnam or not. And so he's telling us this story, and our jaws are just dropping. Like, wow, we almost didn't exist. And like, you were saved from that accident, and you were saved from going to Vietnam. And I guess he didn't have any injuries that showed that he had been through something horrific. And so who had my grandpa was at Pearl Harbor, and he had told my dad, "Don't tell your war horror stories." So it makes me wonder if something worse happened to my grandpa than what he let on at Pearl Harbor. So he claimed that he was off at some dorms or something, and that he witnessed it, but he wasn't actually, I don't know, in what words am I looking for? He didn't have a bomb dropped near him, I guess. So he tells my dad not to tell the family his war horror stories. My brother, who had been to Iraq, was sitting there going, "You told me the same thing." So don't bottle up your war horror stories. It's actually not good for anyone. Don't do that. Don't keep that a secret for 41 years. Not healthy. So anyway, yeah, that's a legendary. Hi, Granny. Yeah, we're at a camp out. I'm actually sitting in my car. I was testing out my iPhone for live streaming while I was watering my friend's plants, and then I walked home with the phone. I've never been able to live stream like this. Um, the mosquitoes were eating me, so then I got in my car, and my car is very hot, and it lacked light. And so I've turned my car on, and I'm enjoying the air conditioning. So, um, Barbie. Barbie says your son could have played a very mean trick on you when he cut the engines to land. So, anyway, I don't know how much longer my parents got married after my dad's accident, but yeah, he just proposed to my mom and acted like he hadn't been through a horrific accident where he was the only survivor. Um, yeah, it totally blew my mind. I'm trying to remember how many years ago he told us this story. Thanks, Luke. Um, so when my dad took us up in the small plane, I was thinking later after the fact, wow, like he faced his fears, you know? I think a lot of people, if they've been through something like that, it would have been very scary to fly again. Although it wasn't a chopper, but yeah, that's, yeah, that took a lot of processing to realize, wow, my dad went through that. Holy cow. And yeah, it makes me wonder what exactly my brother went through when he was in Baghdad. He was in Baghdad when things, let's see, Saddam had pretty recently been ousted. So it was still pretty intense there. And yeah, he's not one to tell us details about um, what happens. He told us lots about the culture and did have lots of stories, but I think he definitely didn't want us to worry about the danger he was in on a daily basis. He did tell us that someone kept stealing his Jelly Bellies, and so he put some of the nasty ones in there. What are they called? The Birdie Bots, the one that has like earwax flavor and stuff. So he started mixing those in, and whoever was stealing them didn't seem to care. I think they just took a big handful, and maybe it's not as bad tasting if it's mixed in with the good ones. Okay, well, I need to wrap this up and go inside. Um, we're trying to pray for Eric every night as a family. And it's his birthday in Georgia now. They're 3 hours ahead of us. And he's been away for his birthday before. Like he's had Cub Camp, no, Scout Camp a couple times on his birthday, and he had a leader who was really awesome and made sure to bring up a cake to camp. And yeah, we've been lucky to have great friends who are awesome leaders and helped him become who he is. And I've been working on a slideshow for him, which, oh my gosh, that's so emotional. Looking at all of my kids' photos from birth and, then for another 18 years. Oh my gosh. And there are so many photos that are, my favorites. And then I realize I have way too many minutes of photos, and then I have to pick some to exclude, and then I don't want to because I love it so much. So I'm terrible. Like, if I take a bunch of photos of my kids one day, I'm not good at going, well, that one didn't turn out as good. But like, my sister's like, why do you take pictures of the back of their heads? Like, we're at the zoo. I like the moment, just like watching them look at the animals. I'm like, well, the backs of their heads are really cute. I have a terrible time deleting photos of my kids, unless it turned out like really blurry or something. But oh, years ago, one time my boys got a hold of my camera, and later on I found these photos of them like mooning each other. They were pretty little then. Like, one of them was in pull-ups at the time. I have so many funny memories. And back then I just blogged everything. I had a blog that was it was public for a long time, and then I had a stalking situation, and I was very sad to have to make my blog private. But the person wasn't getting the message that counts as contact. Like, if I say don't contact me, don't start leaving comments on my blog, even if they're nice comments. Like, I don't want to hear from you. Stop. It's like, if you say I need some space, that means go away. Don't call me. Don't email me. Don't comment on my blog. Don't tell my kids, if you happen to see them somewhere, that you want us to come over for a barbecue. Or, oh my gosh, it was a nightmare. So yeah, I was very bitter when I had to make my blog private, because I loved it when friends would stumble upon it and go, oh, I found your blog and I read this and I read that, and it was so fun. So now there's no surprises, and people aren't really into blogs so much anymore. And I do have a blog now that is a public one, but it's not really like a family blog. It's just music is a rainbow.wordpress.com. I'm not very active on it. Sometimes oh, bye Luke, thank you so much. Sometimes I'll write something like really long, and then debate if I should post it or not. And so I actually have a few things that are in my drafts that I never did post. Sometimes riding can just be kind of therapeutic. Hey, Verna. Oh, Luke, your ex-boyfriend was a Marine in Afghanistan? Oh, yeah. My brother went there too, but he was in an area that was very, very boring. So he went from like intense Baghdad situation later to most boring place ever in Afghanistan. And he's a foodie, and the food's horrible there. So that was very difficult for him. Okay, well, thank you so much for chatting with me. Um, yeah, this is just a really difficult and weird time in my life right now. Um, yeah, the pandemic just makes everything just more fun, right? Um, good night, Edie. All right, I'm gonna go inside and spend a little time with my family. I hope you guys are doing well. Thanks so much.